Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Things That Matter with Marty McNabb. So, today's guest is a woman, Maribeth Decker, who I had the wonderful opportunity to meet through a mutual friend. So, I know uh, a man, Dr. Keith, from LinkedIn, and he ended up being offering a little workshop with a woman about podcasting. And her name is Noemi Perez, I believe, Beres. And she is, I didn't realize there was a person that did this, kind of maybe did, but not really. But she helps people doing incredibly important healing work in the world find places, find podcasts that they resonate with, that they're a good fit with, and made the introduction. So I am grateful to Keith and Noemi to introduce me to Mary Beth. And you'll understand why Noemi thought we were perfectly aligned. And that is because Mary Beth is an animal communicator. And um, my work is I am not a animal communicator, but one of the things, as you know, if you've listened and you've come to my live virtual or in-person events, is that I host events about the objects, the things that we keep from our fur family, from our animals, our pets, from our childhood pets that we still love, the photos of this time and experience with them. And as I had mentioned to Mary Beth when we were emailing back and forth, one of my favorite events that I offered at Greenwood Cemetery was my Tails, Paws, Beaks, and Claws that happened in February, this last February, thanks to Gabrielle Gatto and Greenwood Cemetery. And we had a small but intimate, beautiful connection that talked about these loved ones in our lives that just are so quiet, so integrated in our lives. A daily experience. Usually, I mean, some have horses, and it may not be a daily thing, but anyway, they're woven into our families. And so, I was so grateful to have the experience of being in a room and sharing all the love that is there. And so I was like, yes, I'm going to bring on Mary Beth and have her share her stories. And particularly, we're going to start off with Mary Beth sharing her show and tell. What did you bring to show and tell, Mary Beth?
Well, I'm really excited because as soon as you said it, I said, I know what I'm going to bring. So to, in 2022, my husband and I went from three three cats and two dogs down to two cats. In the span of 5 weeks, we lost both dogs and our cat. And we all felt it. My husband found an artist in Ukraine, and he sent pictures. And here we have little felt creations of Tibor. No, sorry, this is Stella. I'm a little nervous. Excuse me, Stella. And there we go. Now I got it right. Tibor and Mr. Mac. His name is actually Mac. He's my Mackie Moo. And they were closer in the living room, but we got a chewy little dog who loves to chew things up. So now they're in a cabinet way higher behind glass, you know, where they're safe. Because we actually told her, do not. We may never get over it if you do anything to these guys. So those are what we have, and I wanted to bring and show you because
Oh,
oh my God, they're so good.
They are so beautiful. That is amazing. Those are an amazing likeness. And, when you said you sent photos, like, for my immediate response was you were gonna show me a painting. So to show me
Mm.
these beautiful, like, fiber art representations is amazing. So of course, my first question is, how did your husband find this artist in the Ukraine?
She's on Etsy. I want to give her a shout out. And he's the guy who's, if you need information, he's like my own Google, Wikipedia slash all of the above. So he's looking around for something to keep more than their ashes, and he found this one lady on Etsy, and he was able to even say, "Well, you got it close." She'd show him like what she was doing, and she'd take feedback, and so we got it as close as we could, and got all of these to keep.
Their memory.
Well,
Oh,
the memory, yes, but yeah. So you've got all this lovely stuff in your mind and in your body, all the occurrences and the love that we've had and we still have, but there's something about
holding.
3D. I
Yep.
don't know how else to say it.
Yes, yes, holding, and that's one of the things that I've in the 10 years that I've been hosting my story sharing, over 10 years now, is people often ask, do we need to bring a physical object? And not always. I mean, obviously, I do some of these things, and it's very kind of, people show up very last minute. So I invite people to show a photograph, on their phone, and that's fine too. But I also am totally with you that there's something, even one young woman from Russia ended up bringing a representative object, and it was an egg carton, an empty egg carton. But holding on to this empty egg carton, she told the story of her grandfather's love
Oh,
through this thing. And the other thing that they do, Mary Beth, is holding on to them, right? It's really is when they say a prop, because I went to a storytelling event before I started mine, and they're like, you can't read from something and you can't have a prop. And I was like, "Why not?" And I understood the whole reason why they're called props, because they prop you up by holding it. Like you said, you hold it. She had this little, it was 6 eggs, a half a
yeah.
dozen, and she just kept on looking at it whenever she got nervous. She would look at it, then look back at the group and share the rest of the story. So I just love, so can you do me a favor now? And yes,
Mhm.
we'll end up having you send me the information for this woman, from Etsy.
I
And
good. I looked it up because I thought I'm going to talk about it, and I would love a lot of people to say, "Oh, I'd love her to do more for more people," because everybody I showed this to, they any because we're all animal lovers who
yeah,
I'm usually talking to. They're
yes,
so excited. They're like, "Where do I get this? Where do I get this?"
yeah. So you'll send me that information. It'll be
I
in the
will.
show notes, and we can
Yes.
do that. But can you do me a favor and tell me a
Oh,
little bit about each of these beings that
oh,
are
okay.
represented by this,
Okay. So,
by these beautiful
okay.
items?
So this is Tibor. He um he came to us, he's about a year and a half, and when we got him, and they found him, I call it wandering the wilds of West Virginia. And for such a young guy, there you could tell that there was some abuse. Um, and he was also fear aggressive. And we we brought him in, and I talked to the rescue folks because he was like really like he didn't even know how to walk upstairs. This is for a suburban person who gets, it's like dogs that don't walk upstairs. How is that possible? But he came in, and through through all that, there was a heart that desired. love and family, which he had not known. I won't go into his background a lot, but um, and actually, animal communication helped because we were able to share with him in an open, heartfelt way that this was a new life for him. He was never going to experience what he had experienced before. And he relaxed. But the funniest thing we had was he really loved me. And he would jump on the bed and sleep with me, and he'd growl at my husband. Like, that is not going to work. So I explained to him that he's a guest on our bed and he's welcome to come, but I'll get him his own special bed, and that would be his, but he's welcome to come up. And luckily for everybody, he agreed, he understood it, and we stopped having problems. And he turned into a lovely guy. He got along with the cats. Um, he he learned how to play a little bit because of this girl. She was there first. And he enjoyed his life. He enjoyed his walks, his runs, the woods with us, and just snuggling. And uh, he's so loving, this guy. Okay.
Oh, so cute.
All right. So next, we'll do my Mackie Mac. And look, can you see they even get the little pop? They call them, my friend calls them beans.
Oh,
Okay. Anyway,
yes.
yeah. Okay. Mr. Mac, he and his sister Bunny's still around. They came to me from my daughter when she graduated from college. She went off, let's see, where's the first place she went off to? She went off to, is it Australia? Korea. And so mom and stepdad took the cats. And for a while there, Charlie thought we were going to find a home for him. And I'm crying and thinking, no, they're not going anywhere. So he stayed with us. He figured out how to get along with the dogs. He had met them before. And he was my playful cat. He's a guy who would bring his bouncy ball right up here, drop it in front of me, and look at me like, let's play. So we would go downstairs and we'd throw the ball all over the house. He'd grab it and I'd throw it again. He is not a dog, but boy, he was fun. Uh, so that's Mr. Mac. Um, Miss Stella, she was a little girl and she had a love of people that was unbelievable. This little dog always had the excited bark, but she figured out a way to meet people. I did not teach her this. She would look down on the ground, and she would pick up like a leaf or a little twig, and she would gently bring it over to them. And they'd look at me. I said, she's giving you a gift because she would like to be your friend. And they would accept it, and you would see the love. Okay, you get it? I mean, can you imagine getting a gift from a dog who wants to be your friend out of nowhere? How good that makes people feel. She was such a light. And she was good with all the dogs and the cats, and she was kind of a leader for everybody behaving themselves. And so there we go. Thank you for letting me go on and on, because
Oh, no, no, no. I had to know the stories of these precious beings. Yes, that was wonderful. Just gorgeous. So, thank you for the show and tell portion. I have one follow-up question and then the 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 ending part. But the follow-up question is, have you thought of what you want to happen to these precious representations of your precious beings? To to what do you want to happen with them when you're dead and gone?
well, I'm hoping that they will go to my kids,
Yeah,
and because of course Mac was Andrea's little little kitty in college first,
yeah.
and Pat knew them, and then they would pass down to family members that would just look at them and say, yeah,
Mm,
we've heard all the stories about these guys. We love them.
yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
glad that you keep on sharing the stories. That's the most important, and that's, as you know, how we keep the memories of this love, because it
yeah,
continues, even if they're not here in body, they're with us all the time. So
yeah,
thank you for passing on the stuff and the stories. So it's both that you keep them alive in everybody's mind. So and you did introduce a little bit more of your work as an animal communicator. And so this is the time where I want to invite you to share with my audience and the listeners um, more about you and how my listeners can find more information and reach out and contact you for the
thank
important
you.
healing work that you do in the world.
Okay, so let's see. I've said this before, but I always stop to think, how do I begin? I was not born an animal communicator. My dog started connecting with me after I had become a energy healer, Reiki master. And interestingly, the first two dogs were in spirit. So um, I I have that connection. I feel like I am actually a practical person. I use animal communication as a way of people finding out, why are they doing that thing that they're doing? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Um, and and helping them understand what's going on in the household. It's, like or in the family, there's a new baby coming, or there's a new person coming, or somebody's going off to college, or the their significant others are, breaking up. Telling them is as important as listening, I think, at times. And then doing some healing, medical intuition. I'm going to jump back a little bit. Do medical intuition to feel how they're feeling in their body, where things are, don't feel like they're doing well. For information, it's not diagnosis. And then we can do some healing. We can do healing around past life events, some physical healing just to remove the burden of the energy, and sharing with them whatever is really important, and sharing with their people whatever is really important. Um, and well, I gotta say, I'm gonna just show you my book. I wrote a book, bestseller, Peace and Passing: Comfort for Loving Humans During Animal Transitions. And it provides a lot of information about how to shift your mindset so that you can continue to be the best guardian parent that you can be for them, and also deal with the fact that you know that an end is coming, and that is like so hard. Mm, it never gets easier, I don't think, but this will help you. So I help people with that, and I teach a class twice a year to help people learn how to communicate with their own animals. That's a lot. Okay, so the best way to get a hold of me is to check out my website, sacredgrove.com, and you can find out what I do, and just communicate with me through email, marybeth@sacredgrove.com. And I love my work, so I'd love to work with people and their pets.
I can tell that, Mary Beth. It exudes from you, like it comes out of you. So your love, basically your love, and how you end up your gift and how you share it with people. And it's just like there's part of me that really wishes that I had known you before my two pets passed. My last two pets passed away, and I still have a lot of grief and feelings like I know I made the right decision in some ways, but I think that the timing was off, and I feel like it would have been very, very helpful to have someone as a support. It's sort of like another type of doula to an extent, like helping.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like that. Really, yeah. Yes, yes. Explaining to them
yeah. But for
what's
both
going to
of,
happen and why, and
oh,
then and then if anything needs to be shared,
mm,
we do that.
oh,
But
wonderful.
if I may, one of the things that I say in my book, and I need to say it here, Artie, they gave us their medical power of attorney when they signed up to live with us, is my belief. They go, okay, I picked you, you picked me. There's a soul contract. And so in that, what I've learned is if you made the decision with love and concern for them, that's they carry the love with them. They leave all the other stuff behind.
Mm,
That's been helpful for me because I have not always felt like I've done a perfect job, and I don't think they're I'm not going to say it that way. They're not looking for perfection. What they want is love and caring, and
yeah.
that's what counts for them.
Oh. Well, that book looks absolutely beautiful. So obviously, all of this information will also be in the show notes as well. And is there any last words that you'd like to share before I wrap up?
Um, our animals are already communicating with us all the time. It's a natural thing, I think, in with all the species of using the energy to communicate back and forth. And I I do think that if we pay more attention, and if you ever hear the thought, like, if my dog just was talking to me, I swear he just said, you just got communicated with, and just go for it. Don't think you're crazy, because that has happened to me.
Mm. It's an important thing. Like, don't think you're crazy, So
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, they communicate, may not be in words, but they communicate a lot.
They do.
And so thank you very much. I love the work that you do. Like I said, it's such important healing work in the world, and I am so grateful to Keith and Noemi for introducing me to you, and to everyone listening. I want to thank you for spending this time with us, and I invite you to think about the things that you keep, the things that matter, and the things that you'll leave behind. And also that holding these things and cherishing them and telling the stories of them is a way to keep their memory alive, your experience alive. So think about what you would bring to a show and tell, and I'm always looking for guests on, and you don't have to have a business, although several of my guests do, but all all stories are welcome here. And I thank you very much for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Mary Beth.
I'm so glad we got to do this. Thank you for the opportunity, Marty.
Me too.